Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. Just a quick little video. I promise you, this video ain't going to be too long. I have to talk about this, though, because unfortunately, with everything that's going on right now in my state, as you know, unfortunately, we going through some struggles right now here in Florida. Okay. But you know, me personally, I'm doing fine. I'm doing the best that I can right now at the moment, right? But everything is good. The lights are still on, thank God. But hey, unfortunately, can't watch Dynamite, can't watch NXT. Would have loved to do 2 videos at one time later on tonight. But shit happens. Again, if you're from Florida, you understand. But at the very least, that doesn't take away from the fact that I can at least give my thoughts on what's going to happen on the show later on tonight. It's a good thing I am not reviewing this show. I would have fired this motherfucker up. Bro, look at this motherfucking card for a second. Let me go down the list, although you've seen it in the thumbnail already, right? We have Hologram versus Commander, aka who versus who? You got Mariah May. No, I'm sorry. Britt Baker versus Willow Nightingale for a title shot against Mariah May at WrestleDream. Mind you, the same Britt Baker that couldn't even get the job done for the mid-card champion, Willow Nightingale, who just lost her match against Chris Statlander, who just lost her Mexican championship. Like, bruh. No, let's continue going on with the logic for a second, okay? Mercedes Moné is defending her championship against Emi Sakura. I say once again, who? And you got Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta to take on Claudio Castagnoli and Pac in the main event, which I presume is going to be in the main event. I just want to warn you guys, okay? This Saturday is WrestleDream, okay? By the way, I just realized in the thumbnail they spelled WrestleDream wrong. But that's okay. Mistakes happen. My point being is, though, I just gotta get a better understanding. WrestleDream is this upcoming Saturday. WrestleDream is this upcoming Saturday. See, because I know we're going to get some comparisons, because this is usually how this works when it comes to AEW. Always move the goalposts. Always play the whataboutism, even though you recognize that your product is shit at the moment. Of course, they're going to bring up WWE, right? They can't do it right now, but they'll bring up things in the past. It's not as if WWE didn't do this with their pay-per-views. It's not as if WWE didn't short-sight book things on the fly going towards their B pay-per-view. Okay, and those were bad too. Those are bad too. AEW marks. Those were bad too. And I hold WWE accountable for the stupid fucking decisions they made in regards to that too. But here's the difference. Your company that you cuck for, claim to be alternative. Do you know what alternative means? That means different from the thing they're compared to. So you would think, theoretically, you would not do the exact same thing that people constantly went after WWE for. That we still go after WWE for. See, that's the difference. You acknowledge that WWE did a bad thing, and I will turn around and I will tell you, at least speaking from me, okay? I will say that that's a bad thing. You, on the other hand, go, well, it's not bad because WWE did it. It's always the WWE argument, bro. You can never just stand on your own for anything, any logic, any reasoning. It's always got to be right back to WWE. Where does the accountability come from, huh? When do you ever just sit there and just rest on the laurels of what AEW has to offer? When do you just sit back and say to yourself, well, yeah, this was a terrible fucking decision. And to be quite frank, we should probably not make terrible fucking decisions. Well, it's okay to make terrible decisions because WWE make terrible decisions, and then you continue with the terrible decision making. In what sense does that? That makes no sense whatsoever, bruh. See, here's my thought process. You just came off the hills, not you in particular, but WWE just came off the hills of an insanely awesome fucking story-driven Hell in a Cell match that culminated after a year's build, right? They essentially showed your asses up, in my opinion. I know some people may have different opinions. Typically, those are the AEW wing. You know what they like to decide for you also, right? They'll say things like, for an example, well, if you like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, that just means you're a WWE fan. But if you like Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page, because they're underneath AEW, that means you're a professional wrestling fan. These people cope so hard. You know what I say to that then? Fuck it. I guess I'm a WWE fan then, okay? You wanna pretend as if wrestling has nothing to do with WWE because you feel like that's some fucking gotcha or some shit? Cool. Have it. AEW still sucks. They still suck. But my thing is, if you see the product just had an awesome night on Saturday, wouldn't your retaliation as the smaller of the two be to respond with, I don't know, something a little bit more compelling that night to give you a reason to want to pay for the show coming up on Saturday? This show is $50. And of course, I'm going to review the show. It's Saturday. By that point, the hurricane should have subsided. If anything, I'll find a way to watch it. I'll watch it if there's anything that's going on. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get to Saturday, but I will watch it. But my point being is, though, you have no hook. No pun intended. You do have a hook, but that's the gay version of hook. I mean, like the actual figurative, not like the gay wrestler hook. No. You have no hook going into Wrestle Dream. How do you expect people? See, I'm paying the money to watch this because I have to review it, because my motto is I sacrifice my time so none of you guys in the audience have to. But the people who are in my channel, the people who actually do want to watch your program, because in the end of the day, we're all wrestling fans, and wrestling fans tend to, like to watch wrestling. You're giving them more of a reason to clown you, bruh. Why do that? I just don't get it. Why do that? Why give people any reason to fucking clown you? And yeah, people will say things like, well, Vontae, they're going to clown Tony Khan No, they won't. If you give them a reason not to. You understand that no one really likes the WWE product like that, right? It's just the best of two evils, bruh. You're making people pick the lesser of two evils. That's it. As far as the product in itself goes, you could probably highlight like one or two things, maybe even just one thing now with the bloodline, because now Punk and McIntyre has ended. Like, really, you have not much to fucking highlight, honestly, at all. And some may even they might not even like the bloodline story because they feel it's gone on way too long. Some people, actually, there's a good chunk of people who don't like Cody Rhodes as a world champion. A good chunk. There's a good chunk of people who don't like Gunther as world champion. I personally don't mind it too, although Cody can be a bit boring. I personally don't mind it. I get it, but there's a lot of people who do mind. A lot. There are so many disinfected wrestling fans that you can easily go after. Yet your response to the disinfected wrestling fan is taking the exact same premise WWE already has and just adding more wrestling to it. You're attacking the problem with more problems. It's so fucking crazy to me, bro. It's like snatching fucking defeat from the jaws of victory. Like, why? Why would you do that to yourselves, bro? It's nonsensical. It's nonsensical, but I'll tell you what I think it is. And we all know what it is in the end of the day. Bruh, they got their money's worth. They got their money, man. You claim to be an alternative, but you're just like WWE when it comes to how you think fundamentally. We all know what the issue is. You got your money from Warner Brothers Discovery, and now you're gonna show the fuck out. That's what it is, bruh. And people are gonna be like, well, Devontae, it's not as if they haven't done this kind of booking in the past. Not like this, though, bro. Look at that fucking card, man. Look at that fucking card. Well, you know what? Maybe they have. Goddamn. Now that I think about it right now, maybe they have. I was gonna say, well, shit, that's a Rampage card. Well, fuck, they have booked Rampage cards in the past also. Goddamn, I can't even... You suck so hard, I can't even give you a legitimate, excuse as to why you suck. Fuck, you just suck. I can't even give you an excuse as to why you suck. You just fucking suck. But here's the thing, though, that I don't get. Here's the thing that I don't understand. Warner Brothers Discovery plunked money into a dying show, because that's what it is. When you consistently fall in the ratings, when you consistently fall, for the most part, in all your outlets, when you consistently fall in your attendance, you have nothing to show for it. I get why Warner Brothers Discovery did it. Again, maybe there are some metrics, maybe there are some ads that are put on these said slots that up their metrics in comparison to their other television shows. Clearly they have a lot of money to give because of the whole NBA controversy. I get it. I understand why the money was given, obviously, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that they were given money via a dying product, right? Is that something that we just look past? Like they are getting money via a dying product. But you know the AEW fanboys are thinking to themselves, golly gee willikers, we rub it in everybody else's faces. Oh boy, let's just rub it in their faces somewhere because we got this healthy contract, meaning that the product was good all along. No, and this is what I mean by the bad incentives and the bad takes from the AEW fans. They take shit at face value and they run with it because in the end of the day, two things. There are some wrestling fans, as we talked about beforehand, who just simply hate WWE more than they love AEW. That's my motto when it comes to this. I've been saying this for 3 years now that I'm seeing a lot of people starting to take and run with. Thank you for the credit, by the way. But also, let's just face facts. They always just wanted to do this to begin with. That's it. Whether it's Tony Khan, whether it's all his wrestling fans, they've always wanted to do booking like this. And now they got the camblache to do it because, well, look guys, TV contract shows that we have excuse to do dumb booking. Oh boy, so what? We're just gonna have to go through this shit all over again? We're gonna have to go through this shit for another fucking cycle. When does it end? When does it end? I gotta think to myself as time starts to go on, right? I said this before in the contract stipulated video, if I'm not mistaken, or something related to it. Like, when does it bottom out eventually? How many times do you book terrible cars like this going towards the pay-per-view? People are completely not engaged with your product outside of your hardcore fan base, which I don't even know where it bottoms out at. I typically thought, even back in like 2021, 2022, well, as far as a core fan base is considered, I'm going to presume that it's got to be around 800,000 because they typically don't go around 900,000. That was my thought process back in, say, 2021, 2022-ish, that, oh, well, you know, it's not going to go past 800,000. That's fucking disastrous. Not only has it gone past 800,000, it's in the 600,000 range. And when they even go up increasingly a little bit better and they somehow reach the 700,000, we fucking praise it. We fucking praise it. It is pure insanity. It is fucking insanity. Help me understand the logic between. Help me. I'm failing to understand this. How in the absolute fuck do we say to ourselves, it can't get any worse than this? Once they go a little bit below 1 million, we say to ourselves, well, at 800,000, that's pretty much where they're going to bottom out at. I mean, they're not going to go anywhere below 800,000. That's pretty much their core audience base. When they hit 830,000, I used to make videos back in 2022 going, oh, look at that shit right there, guys, 800,000. What are we going to do about this? This is a terrible fucking number. These motherfuckers are damn near in the mid 600,000s. And when they can go to 696,000 from 680,000, and we're fucking throwing out a fucking Macy Day parade. What the actual fuck? And like I said, the worst part about all of this is that you give them clarity by saying or suggesting, well, guys, see, the product is good. Because despite the failing numbers, despite what you see in regards to attendance, despite what you see in regards to engagement on social media, we're getting a lot of money for it. The incentives, bro. The incentives. Stop rewarding mediocrity. The AEW fanboys, to a certain degree, it's almost to the point where I gotta say this. I don't mean to say this because I hate to, compare politics to professional wrestling on such a consistent basis nowadays. I've done it once in a while. I just made a recent video doing it outright. But typically nowadays, I really don't like to conflate politics with wrestling as much as I used to. Gotta do it right now. It almost feels like sometimes when I see AEW fans talk about AEW, it comes off like it's dogmatic. It comes off almost like a fucking ideologue position nowadays. Is that weird to say? I'm not the only one that looks at that, right? It comes off nowadays whenever I hear AEW fanboys talk about the product in AEW, knowing good and damn well the content that they have at the fucking moment is absolute dog shit. That they know for a fucking fact on paper what they see right there is absolute garbaggio. Knowing good and damn well the wrestlers that they see at the moment having those matches, they just seen the previous week, the previous month, the previous year, the previous half half decade, the previous decade on the Indies, the previous 2 decades ago on ROH, the previous 3 decades ago if you go back to the Cruiserweight division in fucking WCW. There's no way you look at all of this shit and then still ask for the same content, but now you're gonna get a different one. So instead of a 450, it's now a double 450. Instead of a 450 double, now it's gonna be a shooting star. There's no way you get the same content over and over and over and over again and not even fucking look at it and say to yourself, okay, can we at least start asking ourselves what is the clarity after this? Because it's like, again, it comes off like politics. It comes off like politics where there's really no deciphering your position. It's like, well, I rest underneath this political party and therefore I have to fucking say everything that they say, even though honestly, I don't really believe the shit. But in reality, they're conservatives, they're Republicans, and therefore I have to follow the status quo. It just can't be the fact that, well, I mean, I'm a conservative because most of my beliefs come from a conservative position. Therefore, I am a conservative. But in reality, there's like 3 or 4 things that I look at the conservative party about and I say to myself, nah, I don't necessarily agree with that. Same thing can be said about Democrats. Oh, well, fuck, man. I mean, they kill babies. I like to kill babies. But at the same time, I don't really agree with that 4-year-old going over there getting a dollar bill put in his skirt because this guy right here pretends to be a woman and all this other kind of shit. I really don't agree with that, but I agree with that. It's so fucking ideologue driven when it comes to AEW, bro. You don't have to look at the wrestling and then say to yourself that you hate WWE so much you have to love AEW. You can be like me and hate both. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. My God, but this card is absolute dog shit. Hopefully the hurricane doesn't hit too much. I might be able to squeeze in another video later on today if there's big enough news. Tomorrow I'm absolutely dog shit fucked. I'm just absolutely fucked. But if I don't put out a video today, I'll be back most likely Thursday or Friday with the SmackDown review, and I'll be back Saturday for Wrestle Dream. Wish me luck, folks. If I don't come back swinging, that's okay. I'll come back swimming, backstroking like the Cubans. Deuces and a P. Eyes.